Okay, welcome everyone. Just have a bit of an echo. So welcome to this community call. We'll all present, and like always, you can ask questions at the very end. Myself, I'm going to present OpenTelemetry at the end, and I think Alex can start by presenting a new Slack integration for approval steps. Alex, are you ready?
Yeah, I can start. So as Ruben mentioned, I was working this week on improving the approval step for Slack. Right now, if you use a Slack approval step, it would just send a link to Slack, which takes you to a website where you have to enter, for example, form information. And the goal was to use Slack's basically interactive messages or modals to make this a little bit easier and remove that extra step of going to the form. So I'm going to share my screen and demo where I'm at now. It's still work in progress, but the end-to-end flow kind of works. There's some improvements to be done to cover all types of flows of inputs to make sure that basically we support the same types of input as you would with the form. So basically, you would add a Slack approval step. I will change this code here right now. It actually contains the definition of the form that will be sent to Slack. But this will be basically hidden from the user through like a helper script that will run in the backend. But once this works, basically you will have your form. You basically run your flow as you would. It pauses at the approval step. It will generate a Slack message like here, where you have different types of inputs. Here we have an age input, a select, radio buttons, or multi-select. And if you click resume, basically Slack will capture this event. And here we see it already completed the process and actually passed the values that I submitted in the flow. So the goal will be to just complete this feature so that it supports all types of input Slack supports and match them to our form inputs. So yeah, that's from my side.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of feedback that basically the approval steps are nice, but everyone use Slack, and it's just so much easier to do it directly from Slack. So it's going to be a great improvement for everyone. Hugo, would you like to follow up?
Can you hear me? Yeah. All right, let me just share my screen. So this week I'm going to show you a small feature I worked on this week, but which has been very demanded. So right now you can basically choose a custom URL for your apps. So it's quite simple. You just there's this new toggle over here, and once you enable it, you specify the path you want. So my special path doesn't matter. You see here that the URL is much shorter and much nicer than the one before. You might see here that I have like a Hugo demo prefix. This is only for cloud customers. But otherwise, if you self-host it, it won't be there. So it will be really a really nice path. And then once you deploy, you can just go to the URL, and then it works as expected. Outside of cloud, it's only, I mean, in the self-hosted edition, it's only available for enterprise customers. But yeah, here you are. And this is quite useful also if you want to have some custom domains as well. You can just like set up a reverse proxy in front, and which redirects to this prefix, and then it will automatically basically serve your apps with your custom URLs very nicely. Yeah, that's all for me. Yeah.
Great. Etienne, would you like to follow up?
Sure. I was trying to build up a little example, but it's so we've already announced this some time ago, but we're introducing C# as an available language. I wanted to write a little example here, but it seems I failed a little bit. So I'm just gonna remove this. Anyways, you will be able starting next week probably to run C# scripts, and with the usual oh yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what's the issue here, but anyways, like as usual, you'll have the parsers showing you the UI. You can do most, for example, build a string array. There you go. Add items, and yeah, I guess I have a little issue there with the I'm not sure. I was building this from scratch, but anyways, yeah. Once it's released, we hope to hear a lot of feedback from you guys, and yeah, thank you. I think maybe Mark.
Yep. So for me, it's just a small demo. Let me share my screen. Yep. So we have a new source of documentation that can be parsed through the CLI, which is GitHub. So, for example, I can take this README here and parse it and get all the endpoints. And that's already integrated in the CLI, so we can look here. This is just an example of a script that I built for Hacker News. And it integrates really well with the new AI-related integrations. So it pulls a news story from Hacker News and puts it into Mistral, which generates a description here. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. Henri, you can follow up.
Yeah. So on my side, I don't have anything to actually show, but what I'm working on is an updated version of our Windmill demo. It's like a Windmill tour that explores most of our features, so that you don't miss anything and you are aware of what we are doing new. So that's it on my side. I think the team has been covered. So you can ask questions in the chat. Questions for the team.
No, I also have something to announce, but I don't have anything to present right now. But yeah, I'm still working on OpenTelemetry. It works very, very well. It's going to be an enterprise features, but basically you will be able to see the flow timelines as OpenTelemetry timelines. So the cool thing is we realized we could actually make everything work with OpenTelemetry. So logs are also going to be shipped with OpenTelemetry as well as metrics. And we're going to be able to have job logs be sent as tracing events. So you will be able to see your job logs as part of your traces directly in your tracing viewer. It works well with Jaeger. It works well with Grafana Cloud. So yeah, it's a much nicer experience than before because OpenTelemetry is a push model. So basically, you will have to just set up your OpenTelemetry collector, and then that's it. Before, basically, you had to set up Prometheus such that you would scrap from every worker. It was kind of annoying, and so yeah, it's going to be released this weekend or Monday, and it works really really well. So with that, are there any questions from the community we could answer?
There's a first one in the chat, and I think Alex is answering it already.
Yeah. So the one of the questions was about team support, and yeah, it definitely is in our backlog to basically wherever we have kind of built-in Slack support to go as far as possible with Teams as well.
And for C#, I mean, C# will be available in both Windows and Linux workers. And we're using Nugget as a package manager, so you can probably deduce the package limitation from there.
I'm not sure about GS imports. So it's a question if we plan to support GS imports. I mean, it's just syntax figure in the end. I'm sure Ben can support it, but for now we don't have anything planned to add it. So, but it's always possible to create a feature request. Are there any question directly on the YouTube? I don't think so. Great. Then in that case, have a great weekend, everyone. For the ETA, I think we Alex, maybe you have an ETA in mind, but I think it should be ready pretty soon.
Yeah, it's just it depends how. I mean, it should be done pretty soon. Yeah, next week, I think, by the end of next week. But there are like just a lot of potential form fields that we'll have to support. So we'll have to see whether we're going to support all of them, or maybe just the most basic ones, and then add them as we go.
Yeah. Also, maybe something I should have mentioned. It's not really a QA, but it's more of a. So Abel has been working on it. He's not here today with us on the call, but we've done tremendous improvement on the performance of the way the orchestrator run jobs. So in a lot of and this week was focused on apps. And so for inline scripts, before we were using a pretty inefficient scheme where even for deployed apps, for doing the individual request of the different inline script, we were sending the full code, including the full log file and everything. We've done an optimization where when you deploy, we replace that with an ID, and then it means that that the ID is unique, and so there's two benefits. The first one is the front end now when it does it run an inline script. So for a deployed app, it's not going to send the full code, which anyways check with the policy and could not have been modified, but it's going to directly run it with the expected ID. The second thing is, and so it really remove a lot of the size of the request. Second thing, it remove what's in the database. So before, for every of those jobs, we were storing the full code, which was very redundant and very inefficient. Now we're only storing an ID, which make the queue and completed job table much smaller. And the third improvement is that we are caching the lock and the inline script directly on the worker, like on the file system and with an in-memory cache. So there will be less queries to the database to retrieve those. So we believe we're going to have huge performance improvements for users that were heavily relying on apps with lots of inline scripts. And we are also applying the same optimization to flows and individual scripts. So database is going to get slimmer, performance are going to improve, and it's going to improve the scalability of the whole system. And with that, I don't think we have any more questions. So have a great weekend, everyone, and see you next week.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.